I am Frank Giles, the editor in chief of AgNet Media. In our specialty crop grower magazine, the July issue, we did a feature on how growers are using artificial intelligence in their farming operations. And the grower responses ranged from anywhere from the equipment and technology that they're using down to things as simple as I'm using ChatGPT to ask it about how to optimize certain production practices. And the use growers are having for it really ranges the spectrum. And to include with this story, we wanted to bring on Nathan Boyd, who is at the University of Florida Gulf Coast and Research and Education Center. And he's been involved with AI. And we just wanted to have you on and talk a little bit about it. But first, just tell us who you are and what you do there at Gulf Coast.
Sure. My name is Nathan Boyd, and I am a weed scientist by training. So we look at weed management in specialty crops. Through that, started doing a lot of work on developing of targeted spray technology or the use of AI to detect and identify diseases and weeds, and then map them, that type of thing. I'm also the associate center director at the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. And my main responsibility is overseeing the Agricultural AI Institute and getting that off the ground. So we're building right now a new facility for that work and also in the process of hiring some positions, and we'll continue to hire over the next little while to build a team focused around automating specialty crop production as well as improving efficiency.
Right. Well, you mentioned the technology that you're working on, and I guess to start us off, just talk a little bit about how artificial intelligence is impacting the research that you're doing. How does it play in the technology that you developed? And just across the board, how is AI influencing ag tech?
AI is having a really significant impact, and we're really that as far as especially when it comes to research, and that will continue to expand very rapidly. Adoption on commercial farms is happening, but we're really only at the very beginning stages of seeing that happen. And it's affecting every single part. Right now, what you're seeing in businesses, for example, is you're seeing this broad scale adoption of all new tools that are helping businesses run more efficiently and more effectively. And we're going to see that same thing happen in agriculture. And I'm just going to give a few examples. You talked about growers using things like large language models to improve their decision making or get more information. And the problem with that approach, it's actually a good idea. Many of us use those type of tools, but many of them don't have region specific or even crop specific information, or the information to provide can have a lot of errors in it. So one of the big things you're going to see, it's already started, but it's going to expand rapidly, is the use of decision support tools, which bring in a lot of different information from different sources, kind of help growers make better informed decisions. At the end of the day, you still have to have a farmer make that decision, but it provides them with more information in a format that can help them decide. So that's one really effective use of AI. And the nice thing about that is that helps everybody. It doesn't matter if you have a huge farm or a very small farm, it helps everyone. And that can be a lot of our labs here are working a lot on using AI to identify weeds, diseases, insects, or symptoms of plants that have those weeds, diseases, or insects. That also can be put in the hands of scouts or farmers, farm managers, all of that just to help them to do their job more effectively. My lab in particular, we're very focused in on targeted spray systems, and that's for pest control primarily. And when I say targeted spray systems, what I mean is we use AI to detect a pest, whatever that pest may be, and then use electronics and so on, a series of computers and valves and so on to apply the treatment only where that pest is rather than over the whole field. And since we're detecting the pest anyway, you can also then extract that information and create maps of where those pests are, how severe is the problem. All of this can direct your pesticide management, but then it gives the grower information that they can use to continue making best decisions to optimize, the use of optimize input costs and decision making. Does that give you
Hmm.
a summary?
Yeah, that's good. And I know you've been working on this, your technology, the See and Spray thing. How, because AI has come on so fast. I know it's been around a while, but it seems like it's really accelerated. Did it, as you developed what you were working on, as AI got better and better, did that influence how this technology evolved?
Absolutely. The technology is still evolving so rapidly. Um, and that's everything from software to hardware. And the capabilities have evolved equally rapidly. So just if you think of hardware components and processing power, what we can do now with our equipment, we couldn't do a year ago. So, things are evolving rapidly. New software is constantly emerging. One of the examples I like to give is when we very first attempt at targeted spraying in our lab, we were collecting pictures and then we're labeling them by hand. It was really labor intensive. And now we do a lot of creating synthetic images. We have a lot faster ways to label things. So something that used to take a week now takes a fraction of that time to do. So it's everything's happening both in the speed which we can do things, but also the capabilities are evolving very, very rapidly. And it's exciting to see how this is evolving. And the key thing is to keep growers involved in this process because what's really important to our team is we want to make sure that equipment we're designing is not just we design a technology and then hopefully it works. It's from the beginning, what do the growers want? How do they want it to look? How do they want it to operate? And hopefully coming out with technology that's designed around their needs and for their use.
Absolutely. And that's a good segue. Obviously it's hard to predict things, but where do you see this technology taking ag technology in the next 5, 10 years? And how will it change farming? Maybe is a good way to ask it.
Yeah, I think we're at the very start of a agricultural revolution. That's my opinion. I don't think farming will ever be the same again. Um, and there's a lot of I don't sometimes you say that and it makes people nervous, but it actually can be a very good thing. It's going to change the type of jobs that are available, but those are types of jobs that young people are more interested in. It's a chance to really bring a lot more young people into agriculture. Um, so how do I think it'll change agriculture? I think you're going to see wide scale adoption over time. If you just think about it, if you can control a pest as effectively by applying a product, for example, only where the pest is, why would you apply it everywhere? Eventually, right now, a targeted, control system, it's kind of like an optional thing, or something that's interesting. But I think it'll become the norm. But it's not just that. I think AI will be integrated into every part of agriculture from managing the farm to harvesting to managing sales, predicting markets, all of that. AI has a role to play in all of that. And I think, it will become a natural part of how we do agriculture.
Absolutely. And, some of the growers we heard from in the survey was that were using it more sophisticated, had already integrated it into some of their record keeping and how to like gauge their performance in their business. So, people are already taking advantage of the tools that are available. You mentioned the AI Center there, the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center. I was over there not too long ago, and the construction is well underway. Give us a little update of where you're at and what the predictions are of completion and everything. I know that can always be a moving target, but where's the progress of construction and what are some of the things the center is going to do?
Okay. So first of all, construction-wise, we foundation is partially laid. Some of it's not because we needed tracks for cranes to move, but plumbing is all in the ground, drainage, all of that's done. The walls should start being put in place. So we're doing it's an interesting construction where they pour the walls in place, then lift them in with a crane. So they're poured on site, lifted into place with a crane. And that's going to start next week. So we're going to have walls up as early as next week. So it's coming along really fast. Projected completion date is April 2027. Not sure if we'll make that, but they keep telling me they're on target, so that's what we're aiming for. And we're also in the midst of hiring. We have, hiring a few positions now, and that will continue. We don't, of course, we want to hire people over time. We're in the midst of buying equipment for all the shops to basically the plan is to be able to make anything here. And so what the goal, how this is going to run is we're envisioning a hub and spoke model that this will be the hub. We're following a very distinct plan where we're asking growers of different commodities. We've done tomatoes, watermelons, strawberries, and blueberries so far, and we're going to keep asking other groups. We just go and talk to them. Start out with what's the big dream, what do you wish you have, and then narrow it down to top priorities. And that's what we're going to work on. And keeping growers involved throughout the development process. And we're really focused on two things primarily. One is automation. Pretty much all the specialty crops that we grow, everything is done by hand from planting to harvesting. And we just simply don't have the domestic workforce to do that. And it's getting harder and harder to find any type of labor. So that's one issue. And then we're focused on efficiency. How can we produce things more effectively, use inputs more efficiently? And this is, it's going to benefit farmers, of course. That's our priority for this center, but it's going to benefit everyone. It benefits the consumers as well. And so those are our key central priorities. We're really excited about what we're putting together, and we think we have real opportunity to have a positive impact on Florida agriculture, but also agriculture across the entire U.S. and even internationally.
Excellent. Well, we'll definitely keep the readers abreast of the progress of the center, and once it gets up and running, how that all comes together. So, with that, Nathan, we appreciate you joining us. Unless you have anything else to add, we'll let you go.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.